Alright, hey guys, it's Sasha. Welcome back to Reading with Toby. We have another Vlogmas or Toby-miss video for you guys. I'm excited about it. I've been meaning to film a wrap-up, some sort of wrap-up for a while because I obviously haven't filmed one since I did my quarterly wrap-up. So I thought this would be a fun way to share with you all the books that I've read since March because there are quite, well, there's like a good bit. I thought maybe we could do like a rapid fire review. I'll just quickly show you the book, tell you what it's about, quickly give you my thoughts and my rating. Yeah, I don't know, I just think like rapid fire because I've talked about most of these books in various vlogs, which I will of course link down below. I also do a little review on my Goodreads for every book that I read, and then sometimes I even post about it on my Instagram if I decide to do a post for it. So there are, you have probably heard about most of these books already, but if I would do it in one big video, let's do some rapid fire reviews. Hopefully I can actually do it quickly. I may have to also look at my Goodreads as I'm doing this just to make sure I remember the rating that I gave, because sometimes I forget the rating. So these are all the books that I read from April through November. Yes. All right, so the first book we have here is Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. This book was incredible. One of my favorite books so far of the year. This is a contemporary literary fiction, and you're following this mom and daughter in India, and they have a very like tumultuous relationship. It's not a very healthy relationship. It's very toxic, and you're following the daughter as she is dealing with the fact that her mom is losing her memory, and how the daughter basically has to live with these memories of how horrible her mom was to her, but her mom basically gets to get off free and not remember all the horrible things she did. But she's also like struggling with wanting to take care of her mom because she does love her. It is very, very dark, like very dark, but so it's like written so well. It's a short little book, but I just thought it was so brilliant. The first line blew me away. I'm gonna read the first line because I still think about it. I think it's one of the best first lines I've ever read. It goes, "I would be lying if I said my mother's misery has never given me pleasure." I think that summed it up for you. Obviously, 5 out of 5 stars. Next, we have Goldilocks by Lara Lamb. This is a science fiction novel following these female astronauts who decide to steal a spaceship because they need to save planet Earth. I have a full reading vlog for this one. I read this in a 24-hour reading vlog, so I will definitely link that below if you want to hear more of my thoughts. But yeah, I thought this was a good time, fun. I think if you want to like dip your toes into science fiction and you read more contemporary, like contemporary literature, but you're interested in sci-fi, I definitely think this is like the perfect intro to sci-fi, because there is a little bit of like sciencey talk. They go to space, they're on their spaceship, but it's a lot more about like the relationships between all these women, and you get a lot of one of the main women's past set on Earth, and that part felt more like a contemporary novel. So I think if you like that, you'll like this. I thought this was really fun, a good time. I think I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. Next we have Saga Volume 2. This, I remember really enjoying it, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a sci-fi, I'm sure most of you guys know, a sci-fi comic series that's really big on BookTube. But honestly, holding this now, I like cannot remember really anything. I'm sure if I flip through it, things will come back to me. Yep, okay. Yeah, but like, I was like, actually, what happened in this? So I feel like this is more of a series that I need to just binge the entire series because I kind of forget. But I remember I enjoyed this one more than I did Volume 1. But yeah, I remember really liking this, and I flew through this. So I definitely recommend this if you still haven't read Saga. It's really good. Okay, next we have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I have read Little Fires Everywhere by her, which I absolutely loved. I gave that book 5 out of 5 stars. I was so excited. I love her writing. Her writing is incredible. And I ended up giving this, I think, 3 out of 5 stars. Let's double check. No, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, so basically this is following this Asian American mixed family. The dad is Asian and the mom is white, and they have 2 children, and you're following them after their daughter is found dead in this lake, and they're kind of dealing with was it suicide, was it intentional, was it unintentional, was it an accident? And you're following each of the family members, the brother, the dad, and the mother, with how they're dealing with this grief. And yeah, it's really sad but very interesting. You get a lot of the interplay between the family, and I also really enjoyed how she did the brother-sister relationship. I thought it felt very real as someone who has two brothers and an older sister, but like especially a brother-sister relationship I think is different. And I thought she captured that pretty well, but I definitely enjoyed Little Fires Everywhere more. But Celeste Ng is definitely probably gonna become one of my favorite authors. I'll definitely read her next book, like for sure. She's very talented writer. I think I'm like talking too much, so I need to be faster. Okay, next we have The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was actually a reread for me because I had the intention to read the second book, The Dream Thieves, but that hasn't happened yet. I wanted to read this one first before I delved into that one, which reminds me I really need to read the second one soon while all this is still fresh, because that was the whole point. But I actually really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it even more the second time around. I just felt like, I think most people know what this is about, but you're in this small town and there are these Raven Boys. They go to this like academy, they're best friends. One of them is trying to figure out this mystery, and then there's a girl named Blue that you're following who kind of gets involved with the Raven Boys, and she has this kind of psychic ability. And there's like ghosts and it's paranormal, and I just thought it was so good. Not only is it like fun, and the characters, like all four boys, I found interesting this time around, because the first time around I thought some of them were annoying, I remember. But this time around I found them all interesting. I could empathize with them, and I thought their friendship, like the male friendships, were just so genuine and pure and real, and they just all love each other so much. It was just so sweet. So I really enjoyed this. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this, and this reminds me I really need to get to the second book. I gave this, I think I said 4 out of 5 stars. I have the Southern, I always get this title wrong, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. He's another author that's becoming one of my favorites. This was so good. I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was like lighthearted and dark at the same time. It was entertaining. It was genuinely creepy and scary, gross, like interesting. I mean, like, I just feel like everything you want from a horror novel this had, but it also had some like social commentary. It also had some laughs. I don't know. I just thought it was so great. I really enjoyed this. Next, Mrs. Death by Selena Godin. I freaking love this book. I wish I did a reading vlog. I know this one for sure I don't have a reading vlog for, but I was so interested in this because the premise just sounded so great. So you're following Death, who can shapeshift into this black woman, and that's just kind of how she presents herself in real life. And she decides to share her full story of what it's like being Death to this young man called Wolf. And you're also following Wolf through his life, and he's like a very dark, sad character. I have lots of little tabs in here because the writing is beautiful. It's written in kind of various prose styles, so like this one kind of just has speech. It has like poems. It's written sometimes in letters. There was one line that I really like. Let's see. I love it. It says, "The greatest trick man played was making you believe I was a man." That obviously Death is talking to you. "For surely only she who bears it, she who gave you life, can be she who has the power to take it. The one is she, and only she who is invisible can do the work of death. And there is no human more invisible, more readily talked over, ignored, betrayed, and easy to walk past than a woman, than a poor old black woman, a homeless black beggar woman with naughty hair, broken back, walking ever so slow, pushing a shopping trolley full of plastic bottles." Oh my god, so good. This will make you contemplate your own death and your family's death and your friend's death, but also make you feel hopeful and believe that humanity, there's some good in there. So I definitely recommend this so much. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't get that gut feeling that I get with 5-star books, but this was still like excellent. And I think if you like weird, more like existential, dark, a little bit sad books, you will like this. Next, Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. This was a very strange little book. This is a like fantasy, yeah, not sci-fi, just fantasy, and you're following this dad and daughter who aren't really humans. They were born from this thing called the ground, and the girl falls in love with a human. They call them cures, and they have this ability to heal humans by literally opening up their bodies and like taking out the sickness. This was very strange, written really kind of like whimsical. I really liked it. This was one of those books where like, I don't really know why I liked it, but I finished it and I was like, whoa, that was really good. I think she has a new book that came out this year that I would love to check out. So I definitely recommend this if you're looking for like a quick little short book, maybe to try to amp up your Goodreads book number. I definitely recommend this. 4 out of 5 stars. All right, next we have A Call Me By Your Name by Andre Ackman. This is one of my, or is my favorite film of all time. I love this movie so much, so I thought it was time for me to read the book. And while there are lots of tabs in here because he does have a way with words, he's a really great author, I just thought the book was a little bit too much for me. It's a little bit too intimate. Here's Toby. Like, told me a little bit too much that I didn't need to know. And I think I just love the movie so much that like it was probably like my expectations like would have been met, right? Because I love the movie so much. But all the tabs that I have are most of them were like all the quotes that they say in the movie. He wrote all of those amazing quotes if you've seen the film. But yeah, I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't quite for me. Yes. Right, next we have my one and only DNF so far this year, and that was The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I'm sure all of you know what this is about. Dark academia, kinda mystery thriller. I'm not really the biggest fan of thrillers, but I was excited for this one because I enjoyed The Silent Patient, which is another book that he wrote. But this book was so boring. Oh my goodness, I had to force myself. I got like 200 or so pages in, and I really had to force myself to get that far. I thought the main character was very boring, very one-dimensional. I just did not care about the mystery. I don't know, just was not for me, just not for me. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste any more time trying to force myself to read this book. So this was a DNF. Next we have All's Well by Mona Awad. I believe I do have a vlog for this one. This was my most anticipated release for 2021. I freaking loved Bunny so much, and I was so excited that she had a new release, but I just didn't quite love this one as much as Bunny. This I gave 3 out of 5 stars, although when I think about this book, like, I'm like, yeah, that was actually pretty good. She did a good job of like portraying the main character. She felt a complex main character, which Mona Awad is really good at doing. You really felt for her and for her pain and her transformation. Yeah, I don't know. And then like it was very strange and eerie, which is like what you would expect from Mona Awad, but I don't know why. I just couldn't give it more than 3 stars. I don't know. This is following a woman with chronic pain. She is an associate professor of the theater department at this small school. They decide to put on All's Well That Ends Well, the play. And she has this, I think I mentioned, she has this chronic pain that no one believes her. And then strange things start to happen. 2 more books. Next is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I bloody loved this book so much. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. I think this is the second 5 out of 5 stars that I've talked about so far. I love this book so much. I'm pretty sure I have a reading vlog for this, or a couple. The first like 50 or so pages, maybe even a little bit more, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. The writing was a little strange. I had to get used to his writing. It was kind of slow. And I was like, huh, am I not gonna like this? And everyone else and their mom like loves this book. But no. I love this so much. This book like changed my life. That sounds dramatic, but it really did. Like, this book just like shocked me. I thought this book was perfect. And this made me realize how much I love horror and like the kind of horror that I love. And yeah, I want to read every Stephen Graham Jones book there is now. This was incredible. Look, I can't believe it. I can't believe he wrote this. This was so good. This was so good. Oh my gosh. The last book to talk about is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. I finally read this book. I was so excited. This book sounded like exactly my kind of book. Dark academia, weird, strange writing, ominous, like dark. I was like, yes, give it to me. So I was so excited to finally read this, and I loved it. I thought it was so good. I see why there's so many mixed reviews. It's very slow. Not a lot really happens. You're just following this girl named Inez. She's just kind of going through her 3 years at Catherine House, learning that there's some strange things going on at this school. She's a very dark, sad character, but I like those kind of characters. And she's not very likable. Like, I could see if you didn't really care to be in her perspective, but I liked it. I don't know. I thought this was great. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I just didn't get that gut feeling for a 5-star read, but this is just like my kind of, this is like my kind of book. Okay, we did it. I see this took me 20 minutes. Hopefully I can edit myself down for even faster. Those are all of the books that I have read since March. So it's been like a pretty good reading year. As I said previously, it's not one of my best years for reading, just as in like finding books that I truly love, but it's been good nonetheless. So I hope you all enjoyed this rapid fire wrap up little book review session here. Let me know if you've read any of these books or you want to read any of these books, and I will catch you guys tomorrow in another Toby Miss video. Bye.